Hi. So I am sitting in the forest and I just love the way that surrender is now such a big part of my life. It's constantly inviting me to new moments, to new levels of awareness. And gosh, I just have so many things that I want to share that so I think I'm just going to share this right now moment and then I will add a little bit of what I've noticed in the last 24 hours. I was doing my hike and I decided that it would be really cool because it's a fairly steep section. It's not a mountain, but it's a ridge. I don't know if you can tell that, but I'm up sitting on the top of the ridge right now. And it's very steep. They've built it as sort of steps that are switchbacks. And it's there's some efforting in that, or at least that's how I felt it. And I wondered what it would be like if I just surrendered. I just put one foot in front of the other and just surrendered into this is the experience. I'm going to appreciate all the feelings that this calls forth in me and just sit in that space of appreciation. And it was so cool. It was just so awesome. It really, just in letting go of the resistance, it really soothed everything inside of me. And I didn't feel, there's a bug that wants to play with me. I didn't feel anything like, oh, this hurts, or I don't want to do this, or I wish this was over. I just was like in it. And I looked at my feet, I looked around, I appreciated this beautiful space that I walk every day and this epic terrain, and that someone had taken the time to create those steps to make my journey up this ridge easier so that I could come up here and sit in the forest. And as I got closer to the top, it was interesting. I felt this really big guttural response that I was going to throw up, and I don't know what that was about, and I just surrendered to that too, and it was just a small amount, but it was really interesting. I didn't feel like I had pushed it up the mountain, but I felt like it sort of symbolized a release, this sort of release that I'm doing of all of the held patterns and beliefs in my life. And maybe there was just a piece of that energy. I don't know. I don't think there's a right way to do this. I think the notion is just to surrender to what each moment invites me to. And so the next moment invited me to come and sit in this beautiful, I think you can see the ground around me, that it's this epic, beautiful, mossy place. And I'm sitting and I just sat and did a slight guided meditation. And then I just was in presence with myself. And what was really interesting is, and I'm just going to be silent so you can hear the sounds. Oh my God, that's hilarious. As soon as I said that, a lot of the sounds stopped, which is so funny because there had been some different noises, different bird noises, different vehicle noises, just all different kinds of sounds kind of culminating together for the last, I don't know, half an hour as I was sitting here meditating. And what was really interesting is, again, an invitation to surrender. Who says you need quiet? And who says you're going to get quiet just because you're out in this beautiful part of nature? But who says you need quiet to meditate? Who says you need quiet to connect with yourself? Who says you even need to close your eyes? Release, release, release. And I just sunk into it and embraced these two sort of conflicting bird sounds that weren't crows, but were repeated the same sound over and over. And it became like a mantra. It just became, that's going to take me deeper. And I just sunk into this essence of myself where everything is just something I'm observing. There's nothing needs to be different. It just is. And it's all just so beautiful, no matter what sound it is. I'm just going to take a pause because I think someone's coming hiking. I'm back. And now I hear some of those. These are really beautiful sounding bird noises, and just this interesting thing that we do, that we seem to sort of constantly be in our mind, and our mind is evaluating like what sound is better. Even when I'm sitting here in this glorious space and place of nature, I was feeling like some noises were helping me get into it and some noises weren't, like some bird noises of anything. And I just surrendered into that. And then every noise, it didn't matter if it was the diesel truck, I could hear it. It didn't matter if it was the voices in the distance or the woodpecker or the blue jay or a crow or a raven. It just didn't matter. Every noise was taking me deeper and deeper. And that's truly the power of surrender. That's what I came to on this day. So beautiful that I can use anything to not only release, but take me to that core essence of who I am so easily. It's so really cool. And the other thing that I discovered over the last 24 hours is I had an interesting yesterday where, again, it just seems like so many areas that I'm being invited to surrender to, just in this new sort of sense of awareness of my mind and the things that it says. And this, I mean, mine doesn't chatter incessantly anymore, but every once in a while it just pops up this stuff that is like, where'd that come from? And lately, specifically around my body, how I look, how I might be perceived by the world, my age, the shape of my body, the way it looks in clothing, things like that. And just really realizing, wow, that's another invitation to center, to surrender. That's another invitation to surrender into the perfection of everything. That my body is beautiful and it's not me, but it's just one level of me, and it's beautiful, it's perfect, it's epic. And just to let go and just to have this noticing that of just the resistance that I have to simple things like that, like wishing my hair would be longer and look different, or easier to get it to look a certain way that I think is more attractive. Where did that come from? And that's definitely the stuff that I have that I'm looking to release. And you know, I have that time of month and just having resistance to that, like wishing that it wasn't happening right now and couldn't it be less time, and just these automatic sort of thoughts that come up into my head by my mind that create this feeling of resistance in me and wanting to just surrender. Every invitation is like surrender, surrender, surrender. Just let it go. Everything is beautiful right now because it's happening. So it must be, because it's the thing that's in front of me. And I just feel this lightness in my beingness in doing that and just surrendering to the invitation. And it's been about a month that I haven't been wearing makeup and just surrendering to the beauty that I am. There's nothing I need to do, that I have the most beautiful beingness, the most beautiful light, the most beautiful presence. And that's what I want to be seen. And the rest of it is just... it's just there. And so that one I know is going to take me some surrendering. There'll be more than one layer of that. And I know that. And so I'm just going to take it as it comes. Embrace, embrace, embrace. And I know yesterday I'm in the process of writing a little blog post about it, but I had a funny thing where I asked my husband, well, I was thinking, I should ask my husband what he thinks about my outfit, knowing full well that what I think about my outfit is coming from how it settles into the beliefs that I have in my mind, or the stuff that I've stored inside myself about what looks good on a woman, how a woman should look, how I want to look, all those kind of things that I've held inside of myself. And I was drawn to the outfit. So I thought, what if I just surrendered to that this was the outfit because it was the first thing that I picked, and just sit with that and be okay with it. And because if I ask him, all I'm wanting him to do is say things that are going to make the stuff inside of me feel better. And that isn't really what I want. So I spent the whole day in that outfit and went to my daughter's. They had an open house for middle school that she's starting next year. And so I had a brief moment where I thought I should change before I went to that, and I surrendered to, and didn't even take my jacket off. So that worked out well. But yes, it's when you open to this surrendering, it's like everything becomes an opportunity. And the final one I'm going to share is in reference to my daughter in middle school. She's been really back and forth. Her school is so epic that they have so many programs to choose from. And she thought she wanted to do French immersion. My husband, her stepdad, speaks French, and that seemed really exciting. And I wasn't sure it was right for her, but I wanted to let her find it. And she decided last night that she really wants to do the nature-based whole being program, which is so cool too. And slightly where I think she fits better, but I also felt there's some disappointment that she's not going to do the French. And I just surrendered into it. Like, this is her thing. This is her decision. Why does what she choose even make any difference to me? And it certainly isn't the basis of any of my happiness. Because it's banging into some beliefs that I have about who she should be or what she should do in the world. And so I want to release everyone of that. I don't want anyone that I love, care about, or any other being to feel like there's something they have to do to be valued by me. I want them to know that they are just seen in the fullness of who they are, and they're doing the best they can, and they're finding their way. And sometimes it's largely based on the stuff that's inside that needs to come out, and sometimes in pure moments we flow the source that we are. But I want to stand as the example that whatever it is that someone is flowing must be the best thing for them in that moment, and just let people make their own decisions and keep all of my stuff out of it. So here I am in the woods, listening to the birds, loving myself, loving this experience, surrendering into the fullness of who I really am. I invite you to do that if it feels good, and I appreciate you tuning in and hearing what I have to say. It is the journey. This is the journey of my life, to surrender more and more, surrender all my stuff, my beliefs, my notions, my ideas, my desires, everything, so that the pureness of source can flow through me and I can be that expression. So I'd love to hear what you think. Comment below if that's something that you feel inspired to do. Bye.